Okay.
Good deal. So today we're going to look at the watercolor sticks, and we're going to look at Quinacridone pink. Ethel has, I think, a link that's being sent out for Quinacridone pink.
We have a blog.
Quinacridone
Color
pink.
Spotlight, yeah.
I thought really had the blue or something, but I bought this in Ohio. And it's a really cool stand. Anyways, this really cool stand that articulates in any direction. And you can put your iPad on it so you can see what the camera's seeing. I'm going to hook that up tomorrow to get it to work. And I also did a different arm, so it's trying to get into a different place with technology. So just got back from Ohio. We were able to see the Ohio Watercolor Society. They were absolutely wonderful to do a presentation. And we went over in the NAMTA, which is the National Art Materials Trade Association. We went over new products that we brought out, the new watercolors, the water-soluble oils, and then the watercolor sticks. And I wanted to go over, I know that Giovanni and Gabriel and Stella, Angela, Caroline, and many of the other brand ambassadors went and showed the sticks. The sticks are a wonderful tool, and the sticks are something we brought out after I looked, when we had our store downstairs. We had a 15,000 square foot store here in Seattle. And I would see artists playing with the pastel sticks, and they would be playing with the oil color sticks, or but there wasn't anything for the watercolorist, and unless you tried using a pen is just not the same animal. So I said, oh, we should come up with something that an artist can hold in their hand and use as a pen in their hand. And it was kind of interesting because I didn't learn until the last NAMTA last year in Florida. People would come up and they would pick it up and they would look at it kind of perplexed, and they would put it down. And after the third time I asked, so do you understand how that product works? And they would say, and they all said the same thing, I don't draw. And I'm going, oh my gosh, maybe I should have made it to a square. But it's not, there's no drawings necessary. It's, as you'll see today with Najat, you'll see with Giovanni, with Gabriel, etc. You can take as much color off the end of a stick as you want. You can do very fine lines, you can do very bold lines. You can do, as Mark showed here earlier, Mark will show you his work, I'm sure. You can do right off the stick and wet it and play. So you can do anywhere from artwork they would normally do to also playing with the stick. So I thought we'd play with the stick and have some fun. I'd love to see if you're doing it at home, kind of how you use them. Would love to see that as well. So we will be looking at the Quinacridone pink. We'll be looking at the sticks. I did bring some of the new gouache. I think when I hook up my new stand that holds my phone, you'll be able to see the gouache in all their glory. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new ones. My plan is to bring 44 new ones out by November. So that'll be quite a few different colors in gouache. And then this is something that was asked by one of the people, the customer service. So Debbie, I attended the NAMTA, NAMTA, National Art Materials Trade Association. And that's done once a year, and all the names in the art supply industry, Dixon Ticonderoga, Da Vinci brushes, Escoda wasn't there, but they were walking around. Daniel Smith, Winsor Newton, any big name in the art industry would be at that show. And so you can see all the new product that was coming out. It's open for the trades, which means you need to be a wholesaler to get, or a retailer to get into the show. which is different than the show in Germany, which was, from my point of view, was very interesting this year, in that at the very start of the show, they let artists in. And it was, it's neat to have both those bloods, at your booth at the same time, because you have artists that are very excited about your product and they're asking you questions, etc. And then you have retailers that are asking you questions. So it was actually very, very good. Yeah, so Creative World was Frankfurt, and NAPTA this year was in Columbus, Ohio, which was quite beautiful. Rain, quite like Seattle. It rained one day, it was 78 degrees another day, it was 50 degrees another day. And I was like, okay, I can understand that. I come from that. So, and I wanted to show this to you. So let me see if I can flip cameras here really quick. There we go. I should put that new device up. So this was a question that was asked by someone sending a message customer service. Maybe I can do this. Maybe it'll. So what they were able to see was this right here, and you can see it's very dark. This is kyanite. So this is kyanite with very little water, and so it's going to be very, very dark. And this is kyanite with water, and you get that beautiful granulation. And so it's kind of one of those perplexities, I think, of watercolor, which is, the lifetime that you go through to always kind of figure out as an artist, how much water do you use? But you have to use water to get this type of granulation. I had a very similar question asked at the NAPTA show with ultramarine, and somebody said, well, why does it granulate so much? I said, well, first, it's a granulating color, and if it granulates a lot, it just means you're adding too much water. So you can make almost any color granulate, because if you add too much water, you're actually taking apart the manufacturing process. You're taking the pigments out of the gum arabic, and the pigments are flowing, right? So that's kind of the beauty and the magic of watercolors. How much water do you use? Okay, so that's kyanite. Let me see if I have any questions on this side. Hello, Carolyn. Good to see you. Giovanni, Kristen. Hello, Raffaele. Hello, Besnick. Good to see you back. So Sue says, I used my Sodalite Genuine stick today. I'd love to see how you used it, Sue. Annika in Sweden. And then Juliet. So Sue says, sticks are a more affordable way to try new watercolor. The sticks are interesting in that there's series 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the sticks. And it wasn't to make, and they're less than a series 1, but it wasn't to make them inexpensive, which they are. And that certainly is true. They're really neat thing to use if you want to try a lot of colors is always going to be the 266 dot card, which is phenomenal. Because when some people come to the booth, they would say, I like Stella Canfield's colors. How can I get her dot card? I said, well, you can always find Stella and do one of her classes, or if you see her, I'm sure she has one and she'll just hand it to you. Or you can go online and you can see for every brand ambassador, the colors that make up their dot card. And you could try those dots on the large dot card. And essentially, you have just every conceivable dot card there is with those 266 dots. So it's by far the easiest way to try colors before you buy any colors. So I thought we would look at Quinacridone pink. Do any of you use Quinacridone pink?
Of course.
Giovanni, do you use? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Of course we do. It's one of the most beautiful colors.
Okay, I can show you my matrix about Quinacridone pink.
Sure.
I chose 11 pigments. There are mono pigments, so only one pigment, and one for each color. One yellow, one red, one blue, one blue green, light blue green, one green, one ochre, and one natural sienna, and the burnt sienna, and then the gray and the black. So any color is mixed with quinacridone pink in different shade of water and percentage about the degree of the paint used in a little box. So 1 dot of quinacridone pink and yellow with a lot of water, and then it became a beautiful orange. Then I mixed this mix with a dot of titanium white to have a desaturation, and also they made the same thing with the Chinese white, and it is desaturated with it. So the two whites are very different from each other to desaturate the color of the mix. So, and I made a beautiful mixes because coral, quinacridone coral with quinacridone pink give a warm red. Manganese blue hue gave a beautiful purple, granulating purple. Then cobalt blue, there is in the middle from the blue and from the green, and you gave a lighter purple. It's a kind of wisteria, but with a shade of blue. So the blue came on the top a little bit. Maybe you cannot see. Then I choose the viridian because for me it was the middle of the green with one pigment, and it gives a dark purple, violet. And then the sienna and raw sienna light, raw sienna, burnt sienna gave a different mixes with quinacridone pink. Raw sienna light and burnt sienna was done very light, in light shade, in light glades. While raw sienna, I did a dark shade. Then I put the gray titanium, and to have a light gray. Then a medium gray, I chose the graphite gray. And then I made a light shade of lamp black, not too dark, just to have a fine purple, fine violet.
Yeah, very versatile. Quinacridone pink is versatile for creating this beautiful shade from orange to little purple and little gray. Is very interesting for these mixings.
So pink, with the pink, you can mix with every color, and you get the from purple to violet. Beautiful mixes. It's very versatile.
Very nice. Nice job. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Georgia asked, Georgia asked about what a dot card is. So, and I know she was sent links, but this is a dot card. And so artists pick the colors that they like. It has a story of the artist. So it has to be Nicholas Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just wet a brush. You can wet a brush and have that color go right in front of you.
We've also
So,
pasted in the chat, John, another resource that we started, I think last year, and that is our dot card finder.
awesome. Because you can explain to somebody forever what a color looks like, or print it on a color chart. And there's it's just so different being able to, you know, wet it out and actually see it for yourself right in front of you. Okay, this is the quinacridone pink. You saw how it was mixed with Letiza, which I thought was a great job. Oh, sorry, I'm getting over a cold. I did want to look at some of the sticks, and then when I was at the Columbus Watercolor Society. Ethel, can you show the slide
And the Excel, you mean?
in Excel?
All right. We are
So
on original date sheet. Is this okay?
that's fine. So one of the people that were attending, they were asking, is there ways that we can tie in all of the information? And I said, if you're, pretty good in Excel, even reasonably good, yeah, you can pretty much answer any question you wanted to answer. So they put this together. And could you go to cover first, Ethel?
Sure. Mhm. There.
So, and go down.
Hang on. Whoopee.
There you go. So Central Ohio Watercolor Society put this together, go over the instructions. And you don't have to do it to this level. There's actually, I'll show you something that was actually, so he put together how you could sort, et cetera, the information. All this is available on the site. It just shows if you want to make it more interactive for your group or more interactive for yourself, you can absolutely do that. Can you go over the warm to cool colors?
Warm to cool. There.
So what they did is they started putting in one place that you can see everything about whether it was a warm color, cool color, all this is on the site, but they put it into one spreadsheet. Daniel Smith watercolor chart.
Mhm.
So it just becomes a real easy reference on their laptop, etc. And they did that for different areas that they found important to them. You can also see that Pigment, I think it's under Data Master. They put a thing to the side here that shows how many colors are opaque, how many are transparent, how many are staining, how many are granulating. So there's really no end to what you could do. The reason that we have all the data available is that it can answer whatever question you want to ask. The answer is there. And if you can't find the answer, you can always send us the question and we would answer the question. But I thought it was very, very clever what they had done here. Okay, thank you, Ethel.
Welcome.
All right, so I thought we'd look at some sticks, and then I see that Angela, are you using the sticks, or you using it too?
Yes, I'm using hematite.
So maybe Giovanni, if you can, Gio and Rajat can show how to use it off the end of the stick. And then Angela will go to you. Mark, if you have the sticks, can you show what into wet or even how you did it?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Mark will show you that. How about you, Elisa? Anything you want to show? You don't have to. And then Gabriel will show how he's painting from the end of his stick. So there's just lots of different ways to do it from, and then maybe somebody can show, maybe I'll just show having fun because I'm the non-artist of the group, so I can show you how I have fun with them. Okay, so Angela, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, this one is, let me see. I don't see myself. Just a moment. Okay, this green one is the phthalo green, yellow shade. And I just wet the tip. I wet the brush. The paper was dry actually, but I can get so much color on my brush. Look at this. And in the middle there is the Quinacridone coral. Sorry, pink. And this is hematite. I love hematite.
And they're so loaded with pigment. They're amazing.
Yes, very, very, very loaded. And now I will paint with these, another of my favorite colors, which is the cobalt teal blue. You can also wet put the stick in water, and then once it is wet, you can paint with wet. But for me, it's best to wet the tip with a brush. It can be very intense or very light, as you wish.
And how do you get the intensity or the lightness? Do you use the water to do that, or how much you take off the tip of the paint?
How
I
much
understand.
I take of the tip of the not with the water. With the water it gets lighter. But some colors are more intense than others, or some are more difficult to, like in the tube, you know. Exactly, it's the same thing as the tube. Like as you said, opera pink, it's difficult sometimes. I will wait till it's more.
Quanto sto usando?
Cioè, che differenza c'è tra questo qua a manico lungo e il tuo?
Tu tendi sempre ad avvicinarti per controllare, quindi c'è il manico
Ah, il
corto
manico,
così,
eh.
non c'hai sta leva.
Non si dice leva in inglese.
Spiral red. Now I'm going to wet the paper before. Look how strong. As you know, this is one of my favorite colors, spiral red.
It's my favorite too.
Oh, no.
Don't forget parallel orange.
Which is this one, John? I don't know if it's still your
Red.
favorite color.
Oh, yes. That's always gonna be my major favorite.
Uh-huh.
I have hard time to decide which is mine. Love them
So
all.
many, no?
You're
Stella, you
allowed to
have
change
to
5 times a day.
why stay with one only? There are so many.
Exactly. That's why you can change 5 times a day.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, I love, it's one of my favorites too, you know, the ultramarine blue. Well, this is actually French ultramarine. In this one, the particle is bigger or smaller than the normal ultramarine?
Oh, sorry, would you repeat that?
In French ultramarine, the particle, I cannot remember if it's
Bigger?
smaller or
Bigger?
bigger.
Bigger,
Bigger.
larger? Yep. So
Larger
it moves
than
toward
the
the,
normal ultramarine.
yep, so it moves toward the red of the warm.
Yeah.
Very neat.
Yeah, it's like a normal watercolor. And so this is very good when you travel, for example. Now that
Yeah.
we're going to go to Bologna, if I cannot carry all the tubes that are very heavy, I can always carry lots of sticks in these containers.
And they're so cheap. They're so much cheaper than the tubes. I mean, it's incredible, John, that you did that. They're all like Series 1, all of them.
They're all less than a series 1, you're right.
That's
Less.
right, yes. And they're the best for plein air. I mean, what not to carry too much and just use them and mix them. And I love how Rajat holds them together.
Yes.
And how Giovanni did put three sticks together and just mix them all together to make the darks. And they're so versatile. It's incredible.
Mm,
So, Angela, thank you.
You're welcome. My
And so
pleasure.
with you saying that, let's go to Giovanni. We'll see what Giovanni's doing.
Yeah, I cutting the
Yeah, I love that.
creating a half pant, 3 color, in this case 3 primary color for mixing. And
That's
I,
interesting.
I use my micro brush.
Yes.
All shadows.
So these are sticks, pieces of sticks.
Yeah, is
Mhm.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that is a great idea.
Fantastic. I hadn't seen that.
Create
Mhm.
your mix in
Directly in the.
when the is better when the sticks end of life. I use the remain for create these tools, but not use you for drawing in this case. And I have the mixes inside in the
And what colors do you have in there?
inside is a queen coral, cobalt blue, I don't remember very well, and outside yellow deep. And create your mix.
Fantastic idea.
This is outside yellow deep, for example. You now I little. Very, very beautiful.
Very nice.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. And why don't we go to Gabriel and then we'll go to Mark.
All right, so I was very grateful that Gio figured out how to get into this white, because there's so many times when I have the tube of white in my pocket and the lid comes off. It's no fun. Or I forget a tube. So if I have the stick, I can get a nice amount of white. So by having less water, and it's almost getting there, I can now go and do some nice little white highlights. Let's say like around this tree, there's some little highlights in here, just coming around on the back side, just so I can get that separation. And as you can see, I'm just playing over here, like with just a little bit of that texture here on my paper. And back over here, I kind of saved some whites, but I need just a little bit more little whites on his shoulder, kind of back there, just to separate that background, and the little partner here, and just these little nice little things where this stick is going to cost me a lot less than buying a tube of gouache or a watercolor tube. So this is nice and opaque. I can get in here and do a little dry brushing, pick up on some of these little backgrounds here, and I can go up here and maybe just do a little bit of dry brushing up in here in this building, and have some soft edges, some broken edges. This area of the tree was done with some sticks here, and I can also work on the flat part of the stick too. So these are nice, I think, to have, where in the past I was trying to use colored pencils, or I was using like watercolor pencils by different manufacturers, and their yellow ochre was different than our yellow ochre. And so instead of now, I can still use my lavender which I painted in here. And here, and also in my sky. Now I can use from the stick to get these nice little hard like edges, like this little rim that's right here on this building. And I can come across and just tighten up and maybe even break off some areas. But the nice thing is there's no wax or anything in it's all pure pigment. So it's gonna look still, it's like it's connected. And then when I'm using these as opposed to the watercolor pencils, it doesn't look disconjointed because it's off just a little bit. And so, but yeah, you can get some nice thick stuff over here. And then some nice, soft, distant trees here. And those trees, what I did was I used some of this serpentine and just like dry brushing. I remember my mom doing this with pastel chalks. And I can get in here and just bump up and just get the side of the brush to build some of this lovely texture. That's why I got this nice textured paper here, just to hit that nice little surface. So thank you so much, John.
Thank you, Gil. That was very nice. Thank you. And with that, Mark, can we go to you?
Hi. So the sticks I use in various ways. The first way, most common, like people have said, is they're a very convenient way to fill up a pan. And so I've replenished some of my colors with the pan. The other thing that I like is this one I prepared earlier. Basically, what we have here is just these sticks that I have, and they dipped in water and then run across the page. So that you can see, you can get the deep mass tone, and they're very quite soft. And then just drawing it out as the water comes out, you can actually get quite a fine line, like a fine paintbrush. So those are the colors I have. And basically, it's just like, I'll show you. This one's Pyrrole Red, which I've dipped in water. And as you can see, you can just dip it in and it's almost like lipstick and play with it. And you can get down to a very fine line. And then it's add water as you want, and you can play with it and make it anything you want. So that's how I use them generally.
Awesome. Thank you. I like the painting back of your head.
Thanks.
All right.
We
Thank you,
also
Mark.
have Elisa John ready.
Hello, Lisa.
So, yeah, so similar to what others do, what I actually like to wet my paper first and spray it down. And I'll take, actually, I really love permanent alizarin and indanthrone. So I just kind of hold them together and swirl them into the wet paper and just let it do its thing. Let it flow. Just guide it a little. And also, I dip the stick. These are like my ghettos wrappers, but I took my labels off, so I had to rewrap them. But I like to just dab them, make more marks in there. Let it flow more. And then when I take the wrappers off, I can actually run it around, get more coverage. It's messy, but that's fun. So kind of like this is what I did just a few minutes ago right here. So in the spirit of what Stella said earlier, I play with them.
Nice.
That is lovely.
Yeah. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Rajat, is there anything you wanted to show?
Yes, John. I'll just do the quick. Is it visible?
Your paper's visible, yes. So Rajat's a master of holding. I don't know how he does that, of holding the colors between his fingers.
So for the timing, I'm just holding 10 of them. It's
Wow.
Oh my gosh, how many do you hold, Rajat? He has
Eight.
long fingers.
18.
Love that.
Incredible.
It's really, it's so comfortable to hold them and, use them. It's beautiful. I'm quite acquainted with this.
Raja Trina says, it's just amazing to watch him work with the sticks like that.
Thank you.
And she also said, it's like Edward Scissorhands, only his Rajat paint sticks hands.
Thank you.
But I
Do you
think you can hold even a few more, right?
Yeah.
Do you put
So-
the same color in the same location every time you hold those sticks like that?
Exactly. First, I choose what are the colors I'll be using. Basis on that,
So that yellow will be always in that position in your hand, no matter what you're painting.
Right.
Rajat, did you understand the question?
No, sorry, I didn't get you.
She's asking whether you will always hold the colors in the same position. Whenever you have that yellow, will it always be at the front of the other colors, or you just change them? Change the
No, I
position?
do change. I do change. It's like, the formation get changed.
Uh-huh.
3, 6, 9, 10. Wow.
Yeah.
I will try that, Rajat.
I think
Please
he
do.
said he can hold up to 20. I don't know, maybe not 20.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I have used 20 color in my finger, and because I'm not using palette, so I'm using sticks as a palette only, because if you see that,
Very fast also.
The best tool for plein air.
I swear, this is the best thing.
You make that look easy.
Although I'm using it even for the studio also. So not only
Debbie says, obviously Rajat does not have arthritis in his hands.
Exactly.
I take it as a compliment.
Thank you, Debbie.
Very nice, Rajat.
Earlier, we
Yeah.
also pasted in the chat a link to a recorded session where Rajat was a guest artist, and it's a full demo of him just using sticks. We pasted it in chat because someone requested for a full demo with sticks.
Yep.
He
Certainly
did the
can.
birds, right? He did the bird, I think.
I did the bird.
Yes.
Pasting it again for those who just entered the room.
Yes, please. Someone
this-
says they would like to know the blues you're using. What blues are you using, Rajat?
This is cerulean blue.
Yes?
Yeah. And this is Pethello turquoise. These are the two blue I'm using over here.
Phthalo turquoise and cerulean.
Absolutely.
What do you like about the phthalo turquoise?
Oh, that's fabulous
Very-
color.
It's a very intense color, isn't it?
Very intense color, and it's a very dynamic color, let me tell you. It's a very dynamic. I love them.
You can do many things with it. It's very adaptable, right?
Yes.
And we just pasted in the chat a link to Rajat's dot card. And I'm gonna also put in an image of a scanned image of his dot card in the chat.
Thank you, Atul.
You're welcome.
Rajat, did you wet them pretty well? Because I don't see you dipping your brush in the water, so they are already wetted. And so you're using them without.
No, I'm just, oh, sorry. I mean, there's a water pot, in fact, kept next to this thing. So I'm just.
Yeah, I know. But they once they're revived, they really don't need that much water anymore.
Right.
And that is wonderful.
So basically like that,
Can you turn the painting, please, so we can,
Other way?
yeah, upside down, yeah. Yes, wow,
Oh, beautiful.
wow.
You do make it easy, Rajat.
Makes it look easy.
Wow. It's
I
so
think all of us can do. Only thing, we should not use this particular unit as an art instrument. We should not draw with this. We should use this colors only, purple only. So there are people, because if you rub, at times, if you rub on a paper, the fiber of the paper will go off.
Yes.
So however softer, you're making the page soft and all, if you are doing serious, some serious work, there could be a chance to, the fiber will go off. So please, my only submission will be, so one should use these as a, watercolor itself, not as a tool. Thank
For
you.
drawing.
That is a scraper.
Yeah, so fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you, Rajat.
Thank you.
Hey, Giovanni, there was a question that was asked by Sue. And it is Quin Pink similar to Rhodonite? Do you have the Rhodonite that we can see them side by side?
Could you please come again?
Can you do a quick
No,
drawdown
it's for
of Quin
Giovanni.
Pink and a drawdown of Rhodonite? Did you do it already, Angela?
No, I don't have rhodonite here. I have to look for it. Do you want
Okay.
to do that?
I think Giovanni might have it.
Yeah, he might
yeah.
have it ready. Yeah.
I mean, the Rhodonite's going to be a massive granulator.
Mm.
And it could be in stick format, Giovanni. It didn't have to be in, I mean, it could be in tube format as well. So that's the other thing I think each one of the brand ambassadors has said is the sticks, the tubes, the pans, they all have the same binder, which is gum arabic. They all use the same pigment. The pan has the least amount of water, followed by the stick, and then the tube, which has the most water. But it's easily, you can paint with any of the three. They're all intermixable, etc. The water media, which is the gouache, is going to be the same binder. It's going to be the same pigment. It's just going to be a massive pigment load. So it's a different formulation, but it's the same pigment. It's the same binder.
Right,
So
absolutely.
Giovanni's going to show the Quin Pink and the Rhodonite. So Rachel, the watercolor sticks are just a method to hold the, it's a pan in your hand. Right now, Giovanni's using two pans, classical pans. And beside his pans, you can see the sticks, which are similar in that they're a pan in your hand. They contain very much less water than a tube, much more concentrated, and just another methodology that you can use for painting like Rajat was doing. And Giovanni, the first one is the Quinn. Yeah, it's Quinn. Very nice. That rhodonite really does granulate well, doesn't it? It's also showing that when you use a granulating color like the rhodonite to the Quinn pink, you can have the Quinn pink also granulate, because that granulating ability will go over to non-granulating colors as well. It's kind of an interesting characteristic.
Was Quinn pink in a stick form also? Or only a tube?
I think Giovanni put it inside of a pan. He put them both in pans.
Yes, I think he put out of the tube and poured it in a pan and then let it dry. Something like that, I think.
We currently do not have the Quinn pink in sticks. I'm looking at the chart now.
But there are a lot of quins in the sticks, though, aren't there? Not necessarily the pink.
Yeah, we have Quinacridone coral and Quinacridone red.
And Quinn burnt orange and Quinn gold.
Yeah, correct. The number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One.
The Quins are so popular, especially in doing certainly any type of floral, but used in so many other ways as well. They were kind of like a no-brainer to bring out in the sticks.
Would Giovanni do the Quinn coral against those as a comparison?
And possibly the Quinn rose.
In all of them.
And lilac.
Of course.
I'm pasting again a blog for our color spotlight on Quinacridone pink, because inside the blog there's a direct towards our quinacridones, and there are a lot of color insights, like how you can enjoy this beautiful color Quinacridone pink and how we could expand it to doing a good mixing for skin tones, florals, and something else. So please check it here.
Barbara, are you painting?
I am painting, but I only have a couple of colors here. I have only one stick. I got the most of my colors are out of town, but this is the electric blue.
Very cool.
Stick, and you can see what I at first I picked up the paper and the pencil, and I started using this like this.
Yeah.
On a dry paper, and it leaves kind of a thing, and then I was, kind of, it picks up the granulation from the paper, but then I started putting in other colors in here, like blues and sodalites and
Oh yeah.
blacks, and so I like. I was thinking about using the electric blue and water
I
and
didn't-
ocean kinds of paints. I'm gonna
Thanks,
try to go back to
Giovanni.
that.
Very nice.
John, there's a special request for you from Larry in the chat.
I'll read it.
Yeah,
Is it in Zoom?
yeah, in Zoom.
We are all curious to know your camera support stand.
Oh,
It's just above the last message there.
I am so slow when it comes to this.
John, you are with those cameras as we are with plain air gear. We have to get tons of them until we find the right one.
Oh, sure.
Uh,
About the support stand?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. I saw these at NAMTA. I saw two different, because you probably see as I do this, I love technology, but not super technology when it comes to, I'll use this on a camera. And we've talked a lot of times about, what a color looks like. And I think the iPhone will have the best ability for that. Do here, speaker. I'll go up.
What is it called?
Rostand.
It's a bit
For
too neat.
videos and photos.
Pro stand. Oh yes.
It's called
Archon mounts.
Acron mounts. These are mounts they actually make for big vehicles like forklifts, diesel trucks, etc. So they're really heavy duty. It's all aluminum. But the neat thing I liked about this when I was watching it, I'd go over and watch the person play with it, is it has a mount that comes with it that mounts your iPad. And from your iPhone, you just beam what's on your iPhone to your iPad so you can actually see what you're doing without playing with your phone all the time like I do. And then it messes everything up because you're seeing everything here. And so it makes it super easy. And there's just infinite ways to be able to turn it. You can get it down within an inch of the thing that you're looking at. I'll put it together and show you tomorrow. It comes with some interesting things. It comes with.
It runs with batteries, right, John?
I'm sorry?
Does it run with batteries?
This runs off of your phone.
Oh, you put it around your phone to get
Right here it goes.
Green
light,
Right here.
extra lighting. Yeah.
It goes on your phone, and then it plugs into your phone.
Interesting.
Yeah, or to your iPad.
A new toy for you.
Yeah, it's a new toy. I think it's gonna be kind of
Nothing like a new toy. You have to demonstrate it, John.
Yes.
It's a new toy that doesn't require paint.
Yeah.
What
Should
a
brand
thought.
it Daniel Smith.
I watched when the artists on Friday, or if one of you is using your phone, the colors just look so much better than they do with these cameras. They're supposed to be so high tech, and they're just.
They are not. They are not.
I think they're just too smart. It's. They try to adjust everything by themselves, and sometimes just say, "No, stop! I don't want you to adjust."
Yes. But I think, well, at least with iPhones, maybe with other phones as well, the technology is so good that the colors are very true and they focus very well. So.
Yeah, I always heard that when they were, if they were able to get up, and there's not even an if anymore, it's, they'll surpass it. I think it was 60 megabit for your camera. If you got that high, it would equal or surpass 35 millimeter. And if you think about it, we're getting so close that these phones that you take like 1 billion pictures with are just so beautiful. I mean, they do such a great job.
Mm.
Yeah, they're amazing.
What color is this, Giovanni?
Quin red.
Queen red.
Queen
red.
Queen red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they almost the road net almost looks like a rose petal. Especially
the real one. Yeah.
Yeah. At least the rose petals we see here in Washington, which aren't quite as. It's very nice. Okay. So I think thank you all for demonstrating the sticks. I think they're an interesting tool. And it just got me for so long that people would pick them up and put them down. And I think it just became that I don't draw, which is it's such an interesting statement, because if you handed somebody a guitar and they never played a guitar in their life, they would strum it. And no one, hands it back to you and says, I can't strum it. But boy, it's just amazing. Kind of got to do what Stella always says, which is just have fun and be creative.
Exactly.
Right.
All right. So tomorrow, we have an artist from the Philippines.
Dino.
We have Dino. Dino's going to be with us tomorrow. So Dino is a phenomenal artist. And I believe he's going to be doing night scenes.
Yeah.
And when he
Cool.
when he used to take the boats between the islands in the Philippines, he would do it at night. So nights have a really interesting meaning for him. So he's going to be showing us tomorrow how he does night scenes in painting. I thought that'd be kind of interesting to think. If you've not seen his artwork is just it's gorgeous artwork. He's a phenomenal person, great artist, husband to Ethel.
True artist, very creative, wonderful artist. Cannot wait.
He is. So thank you all. Thank you for joining. It's good to see you all again. I'm going to start traveling. I leave for, as most of you do, for Italy on Wednesday. So we leave on Wednesday and we arrive on the next day, actually. And then I go on to Africa. So it's going to be interesting to see where Mark was. So we'll be in South Africa and Botswana, and it'll be interesting.
We are
All right,
very
see you all
sorry for
tomorrow.
that.
This time next week we'll be together.
Oh, yes.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Tomorrow.
Thank you.